man, to secure some shit, to have some weapons and some weapons training, to have some children that you are directly talking to and influencing and making sure they have some type of something. Yes. Whatever you got to give, if you give them $5 a week, you know what I mean? If that's all you got, because you ain't got no advice, if you feel like I'm a bum ass nigga and I don't want to fuck up the next generation, tell them, take this $5 and invest it in something. Yeah. Do what you can do, man. But y'all got to show up, because we falling back way too motherfucking much, because we waiting for that black woman gonna step up and be strong. Like, I get it. I've seen it. I've been that dude. I get it. I know the black woman been holding us down for several generations, but it's our turn, yo. It's out. Like, we should have been like, all right, hold my beer, black woman. Like, I got this now. And I really need to see that showing up, because when I see sisters like this bringing that passion and really calling the brothers like, hey, does anybody have that? And I know it's a couple brothers doing some work, but I know by large, we ain't going to be able to answer that call in this present moment. That means we're behind our needs. If the black woman saying, I need this, and we don't have it already, we behind.
We are so behind. And you know,
catch up.
Man, when I think about the magnitude of what's happening right now, you know what I'm saying? The strategy to be able to pull this type of thing off, the amount of people that you have to have in place all over the world, right? In the medical industry, in the prison industrial complex, in the financial industry, right? They got people in places in every single dynamic of this society, from the top to the bottom, right? Where we at? Where's our spook that's sat by the door, right? So I just, man, I feel offended at the way that they're disrespecting this planet, right? I get offended when I see chemtrails in my sky, right? I feel offended when I see black children on wearing masks, bodies not even fully developed, and they're suffocating them, right? So that's when the warrior in me, like, what is it gonna take? Is it gonna take not being able to get on a flight? Because that's where, right? Blockchain, the technology of blockchain, if it's implemented, is how they're going to lock this whole entire world down technologically. That's what it was created for, right? So now we have, in the hood, there's a whole economic infrastructure that you can use cash, right? So right now, if you got child support issues, you might not be able to get a bank account, but you can still use cash, right? When I was young, I used to braid hair. I used to get paid for that. All those little businesses and economies in the hood that are able to operate without being a part of the system, if what their intention is successful, the people that we consider the underserved, the underprivileged, it is going to double and triple down on the suffering, right? So what's the plan for that? We already know we need land. We know we need farms, right? We've been saying that for 100 years now. So the people who took the message seriously and the people who have a real interest in agriculture and farming are doing the deed, right? We need mental, spiritual, and emotional guidance counselors to help us to process the magnitude of insanity that we're seeing and getting ready to see, right? Who's going to take that role? I'm looking at land right now and figuring out the best way for me to build on my land. There's a company called Earthship, right? That builds sustainable properties based on reutilizing natural resources, right? Where's our Earthship? Where's our male contractors that know how to build houses, right? You could be doing classes online and showing brothers how to put a foundation together. Right? So what is your thing that you're bringing to the table? Find a way to give that back to the culture. All of us, not just men, but women too, right? What do you have to give to the world besides twerking? Right? What do you have to, how can you elevate the consciousness of the world as a woman? Because that's your job, your responsibility. You have two wombs, a physical womb where you give life, and then you have a mental womb where you give life, or you don't, right? So where are the women giving life to the planet? Speaking to nature and speaking on behalf of nature. I don't even know when the last time I actually saw us collectively stand up for something in terms of the planet. 5 years ago, birds were dropping out of the sky. Whales were washing up on the shore.
Right.
Mass die-offs of animals. What did we do? Right. What did we say? Nothing. Right? So
So
I want to be lovey, you know what I'm saying? Feminine, like you. I want to give you some lace and some flowers, but this is not the moment for lace and flowers. This is the time for the sword.
Look, we deal with the world as it is, not how we want it to be. So we need that truth. We need that authenticity. But I do want to switch it just a little bit into changing your mind from lack to abundance.
Yes.
Because all of these things that are stacked up against us, we do have solutions for all of them. Yes. And as compartmentalized aspects of what God is, as children of God, we can create a solution for any problem that we might have. So let's get into that change in your mindset. You know, we're dealing with this new fiscal cycle, right? We're dealing with this new cycle of abundance in which we're all about to activate. So how do we, what are some things we can do to change our mind out of lack consciousness, not just financially, but spiritually? Because we feel like we're so under things that we can't get on top, get out in front of it. But we can get out in front. If God made us in our image, then how you going to set back God? So we don't have any setbacks. It's all about the kinetic activity and putting things forward. So how do we change our mind back to that God body consciousness that we need to have?
Man, I wouldn't miss the end of the world for nothing in the world. I'm so glad to be on this planet right now.
That's right.
I'm so glad to watch it all go down. I'm so glad that I'm prepared. I'm so glad that I own my mind. I have sovereignty over my mind, right? I move when I want to move. You know what I'm saying? I'm a free woman, right? If I want to go to the beach, I go to the beach. I ain't sitting in no restaurants that's telling me that I can't come in there. What?
Right.
You can take your food to go. No, I can't. Right? There's a whole thing in LA now. You can't go in. I went in a restaurant a couple of weeks ago and was like, oh, wow, this is real. Right? So I'm saying that to say the gods are at war, but the gods that we represent, these people ain't got nothing on the gods that we represent, right?
Right.
So but we waiting on God, but God is waiting on us, right?
Hey.
So we can't really get that backing on a substantive, level until we get in alignment, right? So we're waiting on God, but God is waiting on us. What are you waiting on me for? I gave you everything.
Facts.
Right? How do I can't get my mind together. Stop and breathe. My body is going through some problems with my body. I can't, I'm worried about getting sick. Then stop eating dairy.
That's
right. So,
the application. The application.
Well, yeah, for sure. 100%. And so going back to my point, I am a proud warrior for God. I am a proud warrior for my people and my ancestors. I am a proud warrior for righteousness. So when I sat down and wrote a book about all this scary stuff, and people was like, how did you put all of that together? Didn't blow your mind? No, because I know God.
That's right.
I go sit at the beach and look at the expansion of nature and how powerful it is. A wave can come through and wipe all of this shit out. Right. So because I spend a lot of time studying and being in harmony with nature and in alignment with God, I understand the true power on the scene. Right. But I also understand that this planet has been steeped in ignorance. This planet has been steeped in evil and wickedness. And this purging process has to take place. Right. So I was talking. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? I tell my son this all the time. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, but would you ever choose not to wear it? Right? So, you know what I'm saying? Because he had his moments, right? So I said, well, son, but would you ever choose not to wear it? Right? So would I ever choose not to be in this moment in pure chaos and catastrophe, right? Would I ever choose to not be who I am in this moment in time? Absolutely not. right?
That's right.
So that's my sovereignty. I'm standing on that all the way to, so that internal knowing, I can't prove it. I can't say what's going to happen tomorrow or next year, but I know what I know, right? And if you don't have a driving force to know what you know, then that's what you need to embody. I know what I know. They're not going to knock on my door, right? Because my frequency is too high, right? So I want my frequency to be so high that even when you see me, you don't see me, right? So Neville Goddard talked about his teacher, Abdullah, who was in the 1930s, a very Black Ethiopian Christian man, who Abdullah was taught off Neville Goddard and subsequently a lot of other very prominent spiritual teachers in the West. So Abdullah was going into the opera and buying floor seats in the 1930s as a Black man in the middle of the Depression, and nobody said anything. Nobody messed with him. Nobody interfered with his business. He came and went as he pleased. There were no doors that were closed to him because his frequency was that high, right?
That part.
So what is frequency? How you eat, how you think, how you breathe, how you live, right? How you eat, how you think, how you breathe, how you live, and how you feel. That's what determines your frequency. Yeah. Right? So those are the keys in the recipe to get through this short-term fiasco in order to start building the kingdom of God. I'm already in building the kingdom of God mode, but I also know that we have to do, there's some destruction that's going to have to take place for that to come forward, right? But I'm owning that. Can you own that? The people that are listening to me, can you embody that? Can you embody the kingdom of God in whatever room you walk in, right? So you say, what can we do? That's what we can do. Maintain the frequency. How you think, how you eat, how you live, how you breathe, and how you feel. Those are the 5 components.
That's right.
People in the chat.
Our behaviorisms. Go ahead.
Some people in the chat, some brothers that really, I've seen a couple times, they really trying to let you know, like, sister, we doing some work out here. We out here. So, like, you know, and we acknowledge that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if y'all hearing it, but as much as we calling out what we need, we are saying we see the work is being done. And so we're saying the next level that needs to be embraced is really to bring these individual pockets together. You know what I mean? Like this sister just laid out.
Let me say something, brother, please.
Go ahead.
Because I know if we were talking about polygamy, right?
Mm-hmm. It would get hot. It would be a whole lot of.
We'd be galvanized, right?
We'd have 1,000 people in the chat room right now, right?
No doubt.
Okay. So if we were talking about something dealing with economics, right, we'd have a very strong, but this, see, when
or
we
an
talk
entertainer. If this was entertainment,
anything pertaining to entertainment. Oh my God.
Right.
I questioned Nas about promoting the medications, and I thought for sure that my brothers was gonna be like, man, this ain't cool, and it got real quiet, right? So, but I want to say this. This is the time for God consciousness. This is not the time for excuses. This is not the time for mediocrity. This is not the time for not being disciplined or playing games. I have been a major proponent for Black men since I came out the womb, right? So, you know, this thing we do where we start talking about holding each other accountable, and then we have to step back and say, but I am like, listen. There is a war on our planet right now. Most of you guys can go outside and look up and see it, right? There is a war on nature. There is a war on women. There is a war on men. There is a war on children, and there is a war on the mind. Whatever you were doing last year, you're going to have to step your game up. Whatever you were doing 5 years ago is not going to be sufficient for today and tomorrow, right? So the innovators, the visionaries, I would love to see somebody come up with an alternative form of currency for our people globally, because we do have the numbers. You understand what I'm saying? We do have the numbers. Where's the vision? We need visionaries walking us into the kingdom of God. This world is dying. The infrastructure of this world is dying. We talk about defund the police, right? So in LA, the statistics of crimes in LA has skyrocketed in 2021. And I was reading an article a couple of days ago. Yeah, defund the police kicked in. There's less cops on the streets now. So, you know, you asked for it, you got it. So while we were talking about Black Lives Matter and defunding the police, did the brothers get together in LA and say, okay, we got a situation, right? So now we have a lack of actual security in our communities, right? So this is not about attacking Black men. The war is on. Let
me jump back in there, sister, because that's exactly what I was wanting to say. Like I was setting it up that way to say that, brothers, what she is saying is that, yeah, the work is being done, but it's not adequate. Like, we can't sit here and say, I'm doing it. Like, if we're sinking and we're like, yeah, I'm getting rid of the water, but we're still sinking, shut the fuck up. And like, either patch the hole, build another boat, do something, but to say, I'm working on it and it's not working, what I'm saying is that as much work as we're doing as individuals, it's not enough. And a lot of us are trying to do it in our little pockets and in the back, and we really need to find those teammates, man. At this point, we are the abundance people, right? And that is also in community and in our ancestry. And if we don't work on that frequency of knowing that our solution is in our teamwork, we cannot operate on this individual mode. We have to build self first, but the whole point of that is like, yeah, I'm gonna be my tree and I'm gonna hold it down, but I definitely want my forest with me. You know, I want my orchard. Like, we gotta have that. And if we don't, then we're not doing the work we're supposed to be doing. No matter how you try to flip it, if you're not doing it in a team effort, we haven't gotten there yet, because the individual mode is not going to do it. I can't raise, even if it's me and my wife, we can't raise children without a community around us. Like, a family can't even raise a child by itself. It takes a village. And if we're not thinking like that, like, we have to have village instead of all of these memes that make us be, you know, we cutting off a lot of people, and I get that, but also making sure that you are finding people. Like the sister just said, we defunding police, but we ain't replacing it with our own structure to protect ourselves. That's the whole point of the game. It's not worried about, like, we should have never been depending on the police in the first place. We should have already had our work. And the Panthers already set this kind of stuff in motion. We got the models. John Henry Clark said, we don't need to look nowhere else. We got the models. We need to be implementing. And I say this to the brothers. I'm really speaking to the brothers. Like, we got this sister calling us out, and I appreciate what she's saying. But I'm saying, brothers, me as a brother, I'm saying, I know brothers. I know what we're going through. I know why we fall back. But I'm saying, like, this is that time where we are the people who are supposed to be taking the leadership of the planet.
Yes.
So if we're not even taking it,
trying to go. Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. So that's reality.
You're bringing me back to my original thought.
Get back in.
Thank you so much. Right.
Get back in.
Yeah, because listen, God frequency is the only thing that's going to get us through this.
That's it.
The power of the mind, the power of your mind, you can think anything into existence, right? So can we think a tribe of a think tank of powerful minds that can come together and solve the solutions of our planet? Do we even have the intention, right? Now, somebody in the comments talked about the blood barrier, this blood barrier thing and these jabs, right? I want to say this before I forget, that there's something in these shots that's going to be activated. And when it's activated, it's going to cause a lot of the people, the non-playable characters around us, they're going to be activated, right? So if you've seen the new movie, The Matrix, where they had people literally jumping out of the sky and terraforming bombs, that's a message, right?
Right.
Because so we have to be ready for that, right? Looking back and assessing what's happening, and this zombie apocalypse thing, I don't want to speak that into existence, but the law of cause and effect is
it's here. It's already here.
It's a universal law, right?
Yeah. Right.
Are we ready for that? Right? So
most of us are not.
I wanted to say that because I saw that comment. But going back to God consciousness, what does it take to operate like God? What does it take to move through the planet like God? Do we even consider? So that's where we have to be headed, right? Intuition, right? That's a spiritual concept. Imagination, right? Something that happens within you that creates worlds. Are we creating a new world? Have we created our version of a metaverse on the planet? So yes, brother, it is about the warrior aspect and men coming together on the ground and boots on the ground and all of that stuff. But even more important than that, it's about here. Are we imagining a world beyond this? Can we imagine a Black Panther type, Wakanda type civilization? Most people can't even fathom the white man not being in their business.
Right. I call it Earthopian. You know, that's what I think about on the regular. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
That's how we building it.
So imagination, right? Intuition, vision, right? Yin and yang, balance of masculine and feminine. These are all yin principles. Being still, meditation is a yin principle. How many of us actually know how to quiet our minds? Right? So when we talk about our men, right, and the issues that we have and why we are or why we aren't, like, I want to be clear, because our men are not actively aligned with their feminine attributes, right? The empathy, the compassion, the nurturing, the intuition, the imagination, right? That's why you don't show up, right? Because a lot of y'all have declared war on the physical representation of your feminine self because you're not in alignment with her or it, right? That's what the war on women is about, right? That's what all of the rape and the abuse and all of the savage things that are happening in our community every single day, because you're not in touch with your feminine self. And so you're declaring war on the closest things to you that represents that, right? So for our men, it's not just about grabbing a gun and being on post, right? Because if you do this the right way, you won't even need the gun. And when I say you won't need the gun, I'm talking about carrying an armor, a spiritual armor over yourself, right? Because the guns the guns don't have anything on the direct energy weapons, and you know what I'm saying? Like, they got some technology that they don't even have to. There's no close combat anymore.
Right, exactly.
So
no close combat.
Gun without close combat.
So sis, and with all that said, it's all about controlling our narrative and controlling our own spiritual narrative. So what do we have to, everybody, new year, new me, right? We got to detox the old and to add something in. So I would like to talk about controlling our narrative and the things we need to take away in order to implement some of these modalities that are going to create these change, because everything you said was in line with creation. How does God move? Well, what does God do? God creates.
Yes.
It's always evolving and creating. So we have to evolve and create the new version of what to come. Because what is one of our most ancient modalities is Sankofa, right? Go back and get it, but we got to add something to it. So that creative process is the God energy that's going to create something new.
Yes, man. Listen, if you're not creating, you're dying.
That's right.
Right. So
that part.
So what are we creating? Right? I this is something I've really been sitting back, like, everybody that's listening to me right now, whatever business you have, whatever your line of work is, wherever your background is, what are you creating? Right? In the mind first, obviously, right? And when it's in alignment with your passions and the things that you're good for, it multiplies of whatever the creation is, right? So now we got a lot of people creating t-shirts, right? We got a lot of people creating shea butter and incense, and all of those things are necessary, right? But are all of these people actually creating what they love and the things that they want, or are they just trying to secure themselves economically and financially, right? We all got to do what we got to do. Bills got to get paid. It makes sense. But if we're moving into a new world and a new way of living and being, what would freedom look like to you? Create from that vantage point, right? So what can you give the world that only you can give the world, right? We've been trying to build these institutions on the backs of broken people, and we have not been successful because we're telling everybody, put yourself to the side for the greater good. No, put you first and foremost for the greater good. And you come to the circle whole, right? So that we can build foundations with people who love what they do, with people that are in love with life, with people who are connected to nature, and men who have an affinity for women, not just the one they're involved with, right? So, and that's another thing, talking about men, like, you don't have to be in a relationship with a woman to have a relationship.
That's right.
We really need to cultivate the masculine and feminine, our relationships with one another.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what are you creating and giving to the world? What is your unique niche, right? I like I said, I see the DMV going out of business. I see the Internal Revenue Service. Parking tickets are going to be a thing of the past, right? All of these little nuances and things that we've just kind of indirectly submitted ourselves to without really questioning it. Yeah, no, all of it's on its way out. The concept of having to go to school and learn European history before you learn anything else. I got to learn about Europe before I'm able to become an architect. What?
Right.
Why do I have to study the Greeks to become an architect? Right? All of that is on its way out. But the question is, do we have something to replace it?
That
right?
part.
We talk about going to Africa. If we go to Africa, what are you going to? What can you build? Right, or anywhere in the world. So please, brother, I'm.
So no, these are excellent questions, but because this is what we call the Black Think Tank, right? Yeah. This is the Godcast. I would like the people in the comments let me know, what does freedom look like to you? What is sovereignty? What does being sovereign mean to you? Because that's important. Because right now we have a collective melanated Black hive mind right here. So this is something that we can absolutely build from. Yes. It is right at 6 o'clock. And before we close out, I do want to ask you, sister, what do you have going on? How do we get in contact you? How do we purchase your information? What programs or what do you have going that can that you have upcoming for this new fiscal cycle and the new year? What is ZaZa Ali got up?
Well, you know, number one, control of my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like being in this world but really not being of this world is very important to me. So I am separating myself with every, you know, with all of the madness and the fullness. I'm just kind of looking at it like, yeah, that's not of God. You on your way out. You know what I'm saying? The homeless encampments. Yeah, that's not on God. You on your way out. Right. So as I see these things in the different, you know, paradigms of this reality, when I see them, I am projecting, right? That's on its way out because I know it is, right? Because it was written. I am working on a 90-day course. I'm going to be doing a 90-day course for 10 women specifically. That's going to be talking about all the things that we talked about, but really taking us from that lack-based, fear-based consciousness and into consciously creating our reality, right? So that's specifically just for 10 women, 3 months at a time. I'm also writing creating a course for self-published authors and writers. That's going to be launching really soon. And then I have an event coming up in LA. I had to change the date because it's just too much going on. I haven't set a new date, but stay tuned if you guys follow my social media channels. I'll be doing that in LA. And really just, I'm going to write a book, a workbook for homeschoolers. I'm eventually going to write a textbook on ancient Black civilizations, but because of everything that's happening right now, and I know I'm trying to help people get, you know, feel secure about homeschooling, I'm going to create a book that is specific to ancient African culture and ancient Black civilization, so they can have that history aspect of the homeschooling, you know, part down. Nice. You know, I have a couple of other books that are in the, you know, Keys to Manhood, What Every Wise Man Should Know. But that's going to take me really sitting down with some brothers and getting proper guidance, you know what I'm saying? And making sure that I have the righteous masculine perspective on everything that I put together when I give it to the world. I have a son, obviously. So, you know, we decided he wasn't going to go to college this year. This would have been his first year. But because of everything taking place, we're not playing the game. So I'm, you know, he's doing his thing. He's working and he's doing well. But I have to energetically project for my son as well as myself, right? So I have to really be conscientious of my vibration at all times, because I have an armor around him as well as an armor around myself, right? But he lives in the Bay Area. I'm here, right? So, man, trying to maintain my mental sovereignty. Sometimes I wake up with a fire in the pit of my belly. You know what I'm saying? Like not for the Bill Gates of the world. You know what I'm saying? For the Charles Schwabs of the world. I know why I'm here, right? And I'm not scared of those people.
That's right.
That's right.
I understand the time that we're living in and the prophecy that was written, and I understand that the only way that Satan can take anyone with him is by consent, right?
Thanks.
So we're trying to inspire the children of God, right? And I'm trying to inspire the children of God to stay strong, to keep their wits about them, and to start consciously projecting what we want to see on this planet. So you asked me this, brother, a couple of times indirectly. Consciously projecting what we want to see take place. I am consciously projecting that our men are going to gather in the places that it's necessary and be ready when the time comes. If we need spiritual covering, if we need physical covering, if we need financial covering, whatever it is we need, I am already projecting that our men are going to be ready, right? I'm also projecting there's going to be a small group of women, and I say small tongue in cheek, but I use that word because I don't know. Women, you're listening to me. Will you be in that number? Right? Sometimes the question is more important than the answer. So for the women that are listening to me, are you going to be conscientiously focused on creating a new world? Not just with your womb and your child, right? But mentally what you are projecting into the ethers, right? We got to write prophecy. The Bible is already ended. The Quran is already ended. And when I say that, let me stop. We're religious people. Let's take a break. Let's stop for a second.
Breathe.
As in it's no good anymore. I'm saying those books cover up into a certain time period.
That's right. Next chapter.
Next chapter.
This is the next chapter.
So are we even conscientiously thinking about writing new chapters?
Come on.
Right.
That's how I operate, right?
That's all I'm saying.
At the table where decisions are being made for what's going to happen on our planet, do you want to be at the table? I'll be there. I don't know. Where are you at with this, right? So what's the solution? You are the solution. Everybody listening to this right now, it's not good enough for you to hear people like us talking and coming and sharing ideas and concepts and what we're doing in our work. And the only thing you have to add to the conversation is, well, what's the solution? You are the solution. What are you doing to bring in the kingdom of God, right? And a lot of people are sitting on the fence right now. I'm watching everything that's happening and kind of, you know what I'm saying? Well,
they're part of the problem.
We're playing, yo.
You sitting on the fence, but when it comes down to it, are you going to expect people to ride for you, right? I've written for so many people. I know it's just there's no question for me that I'm going to have backing, right? But if you are not pouring into and supporting and appraising and bigging up the people that are actually doing the things that nobody else wants to do, right? Imagine the weight of me carrying this chemtrails. Medications. You know how heavy the load is for me? You know how heavy it is to care and to look at a world that doesn't care? You know how heavy it is for me to get my people to not care about science, to not pay attention to science, right? Do you know how difficult it is for somebody that's been talking about organic food and eating to live and fasting and raw food fast for people in my family to be lining up for testing and shots?
Yeah, man.
So what's the solution? You.
That's right.
What's your answer to the problems? What are you bringing to the table? If we all navigated to Africa right now, could we build?
Yeah.
Could we create streets and airports and technology? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you bringing to the table? It's no longer good enough for you to come and expect other people to do for you what you should be doing for yourself, especially when Satan is knocking at the door. Satan's a frequency of wickedness, a frequency of evil, right? I don't want none of that shit around me. Keep that away from me. It's all God. I want God. I want abundance. I want gratitude, right? I want nature. I want the ocean. I want clean skies. I want clean air, right? I want to feel good about my life. I want to see children flourishing on this planet. All races, all people. We're not going to turn into black versions of white people, right? So there's no black supremacy, right? We rule from the perspective of God. You understand what I'm saying? That's what our people did, right? So the problem was underestimating the enemy, right? So don't become your enemy. Better than them. You can't say, why do I have to always be the bigger person if you're always the bigger person? If you're the bigger person, you can't complain about always having to be the bigger person.
That's what you are.
So are we the ka of the creator? Do we represent the physical representation of God or not?
Or
are we the children of the sun or not? Are we the children
put it on the line
or not?
And y'all see the sister, she's speaking on heavy topics, what's actually going on, but she's speaking in power, not fear.
No.
That's what thwarts our growth, our DNA is moving in fear. But having that knowledge allows you to move in power.
Yes. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. I want for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? I'm divinely protected and provided for. There's nowhere on this planet that I can't go if I want to go. Now, do I want to visit nations that are now mandating poison? Absolutely not. Those grounds are not sacred right now. Everything's on pause. Those temples have lost their validity if the people that are ruling those nations are ostracizing and mandating satanic agendas. So I don't want to go there. Everywhere I stand is holy ground. Right?
Everywhere.
That's the frequency. That's how you move on this planet. And stop.
Holy land is where you stand.
Yes, man. We don't go where we're not wanted. We don't go. I'm not trying to get in. So I'm not fighting to get in your establishment. If you're telling me that everybody in here has to take the poison, this place.
Why would I bring my blessing there? Why would I bring my blessing there?
Right. All of this shit is beneath me. Right? All of it's beneath me. This government is beneath me. The way this economic system run is beneath me. The way that they're disrespecting the children and our elders is all beneath me. So it's all on its way out. So you either going to be in alignment with it or you're going to be in alignment with the true and living gods. I know where I stand. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't miss the end of the world for anything in the world.
It's been a blessing. It's been a real blessing having this in here. I hope and pray that my people take it beyond this conversation, man. I know a lot of people got fired up and really touched, and I hope y'all really heard what she said, is that it ain't about these kind of conversations. When we get off this conversation, are you going to go call up somebody like, hey, let's do this tomorrow. Let's build this. Let's set a plan. Let's execute. Like, we got to put this in motion.
Yeah.
And as long as you're rooted, and what that sister was saying, it's the God. If you get rooted in the God powers, man, that's it. We win. It's automatic.
Yes.
It's automatic, y'all. So I would just encourage y'all to take the time, first and foremost, to get your real relationship with God. Like, know God for yourself, not by hearsay, not from an advertisement. Know God, like have an actual relationship with the God in yourself. You know what I mean? And that's how you build out fearlessly. That's how you don't even worry. That's how you know the abundance is your naturalness. Like, it's Earthopian. It's literally, this is our playground. This is what we're here to execute, man. So
it's a playground.
So I really, and we can't let these people be fucking up the playground no more. So it's time to take back the home. We were sleeping. Now it's time to like level up and get the home back, y'all. So let's go call up your teammates and let's get it. Let's get it, man.
Yes, 100%. We move and we move confidently. We move proudly. You know what I'm saying? We're not moving with fear because we understand what's on the horizon. I can see a world beyond this world, right?
Absolutely.
So we live in one galaxy of what, 200 billion galaxies? One galaxy. This planet, one planet is one planet in a galaxy of planets of 200 billion planets. Do you know how small and simple-minded and savage these people are compared to the global concept of our family? Right? We got ancestors in the stars. Whom shall I fear?
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
Hey,
real talk.
Everybody, all this free game system gave us. Y'all make sure y'all go to ZaZa Ali and Patreon and purchase some of these books. She's got books. She's got workbooks. She has a course coming up, 90-day course. She's been in the game for a very long time, giving us this information. So she gave us all, be giving her flowers now for all the free information she gave us. Check that website because it's, if you want to hear this, extrapolate it. Sis got books, workbooks, all sorts of modalities.
Yeah, and you can go to my Instagram page and just click the link in my bio and it'll take you right to, my store. I did a Science as a Weapon series last year, a 7-hour presentation about all of this stuff that's happening. It's free. It's 3 videos. You can go and watch that. But yeah, this is, we in this. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great and dreadful day, right? And I'm thankful that we have brothers like you that are opening the door for women like me, obviously, but that are conscientiously focused on building something new, right? I really value and appreciate that. I value your energy. I value your perspectives. Earthopian, you know, I've been riding with you for a long time. This brother has a mathematics, all you homeschoolers out there, he does, has a whole mathematics tutoring program. He works with children. He's written a book, right? So when we talk about what's the solution, like here's one, right? So if you're homeschooling or if you're interested in homeschooling, this is one of the resources, right? So everything we need, we have within, right? And what's not, and if it's not in us, it's in the earth, right? That's so right. What is there to fear? Put your game face on. But you scared. You if you living right, if you're not living right, you're living in fear, right?
That part.
So yeah, it's time to put our game face on though. Stop pretending like this shit's not happening. I can't deal with that. That is where, you know, let's put our game face on in our big girl and our big boy boots, right? Tap into that ancestral wisdom, that ancestral energy, right? We need warrior spiritual energy, prayers, meditators. That's coming to the deck. That's coming without the low vibrational energy. If you twerked 2 hours ago, don't pray for me. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Take a shower first.
Yeah. No.
Do some sage.
I'm saying,
eat some fruit.
I'm saying come to the table in alliance, right? Come to pray and meditate and project forward in a high vibrational space. That's what I was trying to say.
I say no, and we get it, and this was that call to order because we have so many solutions. Now it's all about the application.
Yes.
You know, I know a lot of people want to wait till now. Oh, I got a resolution. Well, resolve to get your shit together. Resolve to stop being so dysfunctional because we have all the functional information of our ancestors permeating through our mitochondria. So let's be about it. That's what 2022 is going to be about, being about it. Yes. We're going to manifest that change that we all not only want to see, but are going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sister ZaZa, we really appreciate your time. We have to do this again. You know, we're going to keep all of us, because, you know, we all in some form of Instagram institution, but we busting out because it can't hold our energy.
And you know something, I have to address this because I see some comments in the about the twerk.
I saw that too. Get on it. Get on it.
Spiritual.
I saw it.
You know, oh my God, how do I say this in a nice way?
Hey, you've been fasting for 3 days. Speak what's on your mind.
I've been fasting for 3 days. I haven't eaten.
Real talk.
And I you know, there's a lot of things that we did in Africa as women that we're not implementing now, right? So you say twerking started in Africa, and that twerking is a spiritual connotation, right? When done in the proper setting. Well, mathematics and science started in Africa too. Can you go in a bush and grab an herb and heal yourself? Because that started in Africa too, right? So, you know, I mean, again, looking at the broader scope of what's happening in the world, right? And looking at the condition of the mindsets of women around the world. Like, yeah, I'm seeing like suburban white dudes doing videos twerking now, right? So is your spiritual twerking is inspiring people and aspiring people to their highest heights, or are you just inspiring them to twerk? Right. So the fact that people actually like hone in on that twerking conversation with the body of the conversation and the level of the conversation that we're actually talking about, you are being disrespectful and also not acknowledging the over sexual promiscuous nature that is being implemented through social media and that Black women are projecting. So whereas it may have at once been something that was spiritual, right, and a communal tribal thing, it is now something that is being used and weaponized against the world. So I don't want to have no conversations about twerking. I want to talk about science. I want to talk about spirituality. I want to talk about the power of a woman's mind. I want to talk about the ingenuity of a woman's mind, right? So the fact that like twerking is an actual thing of focus in our culture and our conversation is embarrassing as fuck to me. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it.
Even have to defend. And I want to say something too about something I just saw in the comments. There's somebody saying something about ZaZa Ali is against real men, and that's just ridiculous, first and foremost. And then I saw that person follow up with something like putting Professor Griff with all this fire. And look, I said at the beginning, I met ZaZa at a Professor Griff joint, but I knew Griff before I met you, ZaZa, right? And I'm going to say this, because I don't like no drama and foolishness, but I'll say this, family, for anybody that's coming for ZaZa about Griff. I don't know nothing about the conversation between them. I haven't seen them rock for a while, and I ain't never asked no questions about it. But I'll say this. I've been in both of their presence, and I got ZaZa on my show because that's who I feel is really bringing the authentic fire for our family. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
That's that. That's that. That sister's real.
Have you heard anything I've said?
You know what I mean? Like, I don't,
that's where,
the foolishness. That's why I said we ain't even got to go into it.
Like,
we ain't got to go deep.
We're not even engaging.
No. Again, don't look at.
Because I'm like, hey.
Excuse me?
Don't come for my sister. That's what I'm saying. Like,
look, I'm here.
I didn't appreciate it.
I'm here representing the.
So I couldn't let it ride.
I'm here representing the true and living God.
Exactly.
I'm here representing the goddesses and the wisdom of the womb of the woman from the beginning of time. Don't play with me.
And that's why we got her on.
God made me.
I
came out the womb with this mind. You understand what I'm saying? So don't play with me.
Yep.
I love how
that's why
I read these comments, and it's fascinating to me how we
I wasn't gonna let it
everything we've been talking about. We want to talk about everything but the shit that really matters.
Right. And that's why I'm like,
none of that has anything to do with the technology that can go into your body and transform your DNA. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the science. All this little rudimentary peasant shit that y'all like to talk about and focus on, I don't have time for that. We have a world to build. You understand what I'm saying? There are people coming for our children. What do you have to say about that?
Right.
I'm a queen. I understand. I move like a queen. I think like a queen. I understand why peasants don't understand and relate to me. It's okay.
That's right.
But if you've been invited into the conversation, sometimes you just need to be quiet and just listen.
And there's been plenty of that. We can't let one thing disrupt the great engagement we have. And everybody's allowed to, people are allowed to be brilliant and they're allowed to be stupid.
Yes, they are. And I'm
coming for y'all.
I'm allowed to listen, and I'm allowed to come with my sword when it's necessary.
That's right. And if somebody comes for my sister, I'm coming for you.
Let's say this, right? Because I see the people in the comments talking about focusing on the negatives and ignoring the trolls, but you don't understand. The trolls are the ones out here that are giving our baby shots, right?
Right.
So I got a sword.
So you got to come for them.
I got a sword for the trolls. Right?
Exactly.
Sometimes I ignore you and sometimes I address you. But please stop thinking because we address this negative. Y'all don't want to confront the darkness, right? So one of the biggest things as an individual, your whole life trajectory is about confronting the darkness within, right? But we don't want to confront the darkness in the world, right? My light does that, right? So that's why it as with anybody speaking light, it attracts negativity, it attracts positivity, it attracts abundance, it attracts gnats and flies, right? So I'm okay with addressing certain things if they need to be addressed the same way I'm okay with addressing Bill Gates. You guys don't have a problem with me talking about him, right? You don't have a problem with me talking about the white man, right? So I don't know when we got, I just the warrior energy, the scientists, the thinkers, the visionaries, the builders, right? Those are the people I'm trying to reach, and those are the people that are going to build the new kingdom. Everybody else, enjoy the ride.
Eat your popcorn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Out here working.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have all been spiritually upgraded from this time, this black think tank, and we got to take all this information that we got and apply it, because that's the key. That is the key, the application. You know what I'm saying? So, Sister ZaZa, it's been amazing. We are officially, I know you and Josh already had a good relationship. You're officially a friend of the show. And anytime, like quarterly, you come back and we can chop it up and continue to build. And we give thanks for your energy, sis.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. Peace and love to everybody that tuned in, all the people in the chat room, and everybody that's going to watch this, when we repost it, and hopefully it'll go out into the ethers and attract and reach the people that are in alignment with our message.
It's going to get it. For those who are asking, this is saved. We save all of these. You just go to the brothers platform on the IGTV, and the whole catalog is there for the past year. So this will be on there as well. So follow up, do the study, take notes, implement, y'all. It's been a blessing. Thank you to y'all, all y'all that's in here and vibing with us and building this up. Much love, fam.
We'll be back at it in 2 weeks. Go to ZaZaAli.com to get the science. I say.
Peace and love.
Peace, peace.
Yeah. Peace. Rah!